Collateral Consequences of Conviction Justice Project. And it is a post-conviction legal clinic. We provide services for low-income individuals who have criminal convictions in the state of California. We have one more. Hi, Teresa.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Hello.
You're there?
Yes, please. I'm here.
Okay. We just started, and so this is the Collateral Consequences of Conviction Justice Project, which is a one-semester clinic here at Loyola. And the clinic serves low-income individuals who have criminal convictions in the state of California. The reason I emphasize the state of California is because sometimes people have convictions in other states. However, every state has different rules in regard to expungements, and I'm only licensed to practice in the state of California. So we just focus on California convictions. The clinic class is Mondays from 2:50 to 5:50. And the clinic is 2 credits. I know it says it's available for 1 credit. However, there's not a whole lot of experience one would get with 1 credit. Under the school rules, taking 2 credits entails 104 hours, and the class time is approximately a total of 41 or 42 hours. So that means the student has to gain the additional hours on his or her own time, and that's done by working on client cases. Any questions so far? Okay. So these are the types of services we provide. We do expungements, which is the dismissal of a criminal conviction. It's not a permanent dismissal. Clients will ask if it wipes their criminal record clean. It does not. It just has a date and the penal code for the expungement, which is Penal Code Section 1203.4 underneath the conviction. And what that means is that a background check company, when they see the expungement, is not allowed to turn that information over to an employer. And we also work on Prop 47 petitions. That is the reduction of certain felony convictions to misdemeanors. It's just a handful of crimes, some theft-related convictions where the loss is under $950, or certain drug convictions are now misdemeanors. It's retroactive, so that means if somebody has a conviction from, say, 2005 and it's Prop 47 eligible, we can get it reduced for that person. We also will seal an arrest that did not result in a conviction. There's a variety of scenarios where somebody might have been arrested. It did not result in a case being filed, or a case was filed, but it ended up getting dismissed. The procedure is to seal the arrest. For convictions that resulted in a prison sentence and the person's ineligible for an expungement, we help individuals apply for a certificate of rehabilitation. That doesn't require the person to go into rehab. It's just the application process. And if it is granted, then it is an automatic application for a pardon by the governor. The sex offender registration laws changed as of January 1st of 2021. There's now 3 tiers of registration. There's a 10-year registration, there's a 20-year registration, there's a lifetime registration tier. And as of July 1st of 2021, individuals can petition the court to get off the sex offender registry if they qualify. There are a lot of hoops that one has to jump through in order to get off the registry. Not everybody will get off. There are certain reasons why maybe the length of registration has been extended. So that's another service we're hoping to offer in the very near future. We help vacate convictions for those who are undocumented when the conviction maybe has consequences in immigration court. And we do some limited work with people who have traffic warrants. In particular, there was a traffic warrant that was outstanding prior to somebody being incarcerated in state prison. We can help with those. Some of you may know that the murder laws have been amended, and the Senate bill is SB 1437. It was codified in Penal Code Section 1170.95. I'm working on one of those currently. It's for when somebody was not the actual killer and was convicted under a theory of felony murder or murder in the as a result of a natural and probable consequence theory. As I said, the person could not be a major participant, and also the person did not exhibit a reckless disregard for human life. So that's relatively new, and a current law, I should say, proposal to amend SB 1437 is on the governor's desk, and that would include attempted murder convictions. So that's going to broaden the scope of eligibility for people, not only with a murder conviction, but an attempted murder conviction. The clinic recently was awarded a 3-year grant, and under the grant rules that we are going to be doing more in-person workshops. And tomorrow I have a webinar for Homies Unidos, which is a nonprofit that helps people from Central America. And the actual in-person workshop is Thursday from 10 to 2. So we're going to be participating in that. Glendale College is also going to have a workshop for their formerly incarcerated students. The community college system in California has a program for formerly incarcerated students called Rising Scholars. And we're going to do a webinar in October, and about 3 weeks later, we're going to have an in-person workshop. And another nonprofit that we help is an agency called Friends Outside. They work with individuals who were formerly incarcerated. They provide them job placement services, case management workshops, or case management services, and we're going to provide their expungement services for their clients if they are eligible. So students in the clinic are able to become certified. And if the student becomes certified, then the student can go to court and do the court hearings. And right now we're doing court hearings at the Foltz Criminal Justice Center and the Metropolitan Courthouse. On Wednesday, we're doing a hearing for a client with 2 expungement petitions in Glendale, and it's only because the client lives about 4 hours away out of Los Angeles. There are LA convictions, so we're helping the individual, and it gives the student courtroom experience. So I have a student helping me on that, even though it's not in our the usual courts that we do, the Foltz Criminal Justice Center or Metropolitan. So in the classroom, Zoom kind of helped us be more creative during COVID. And so the first couple of classes, we talk about the expungement laws, the laws in regard to Prop 47, the forms necessary to complete an expungement, how to read a court docket, how to read a rap sheet. Those are the basics, and that covers usually the first 3 weeks of the semester. And then I bring in guest speakers. I brought in a UCLA professor to talk about how to interview an individual, especially an interview who has been subjected to trauma. A lot of our clients have had trauma in their life, and the trauma usually results in some type of addiction problems. And with addiction, hand in hand is a criminal record, because usually there's theft-related and drug-related convictions until the person gets sober. So we cover how to write the social history, how to interview our clients. We also talk about the discrimination that we see for an individual who has a criminal history. More often than not, the people who have criminal convictions are people of color. And even though there's ban the box, which prohibits an employer from asking upfront if a person has a criminal conviction, when the time comes where the employer is allowed to ask if a person has a criminal conviction, many times it's people of color, and they are then rejected for the position because of their criminal history. We talk about immigration law, and the merger of immigration and criminal law is termed crimmigration. And what it means is that people wanting to be public defenders need to be, or criminal defense attorneys need to be more aware of the consequence that a criminal conviction will have for people who are undocumented, for people who may have DACA, for people who may have a green card making them a legal permanent resident, and also for individuals who want to naturalize. And so, in fact, today's class, since it's Monday, is going to be on basic immigration law, and we'll cover the crimmigration part afterwards. Another topic we're going to cover is employer background checks. As I mentioned earlier, people who are applying for a job go through employer background checks. And recently there's a new case law that came out. A nonprofit group sued the Riverside Superior Court because that court was allowing employers to confirm criminal histories with confidential information that would be a person's date of birth, or a person's driver's license number, or their social security number. And now it's more difficult for employers to do the background checks. I have a speaker coming in. He works with the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, and he's going to talk about the programs that the CDCR has in place for inmates who are going to get released fairly soon. We also do a segment on restorative justice, which is primarily with a nonprofit called Healing Dialogue and Action. And then the final project that the students do is, and it is fun, the student researches a topic which is a collateral consequence of conviction. And it's a topic that we did not cover. And the student then presents about a 10-minute PowerPoint and shares it with the class and basically informs the class on a topic. There's thousands of collateral consequences of a conviction. And I always find that the students are very creative and very informative in their topic when they present it. And throughout the semester, since the students are working on petitions, there's a one-on-one discussion set up where I work with the students, their petitions, work on issues that arise, because some of the clients have unique situations. One of the clients this semester threatened the student by saying, if my convictions are not expunged, I'm going to sue you. So we talk about, you know, the difficulty our clients have. We talk about, you know, what type of expungement petition is going to be available for the client. And also with anything filed with the court always wants money. So we talk about the fee waiver. So that's it in a nutshell. And I'm open to any questions that you may have. You have one, Melissa? Okay, just unmute.
I was looking for my hand raised, but I couldn't find it.
Oh, that's okay. There's just 3 of us.
So I wanted to ask, this all sounds great and it sounds similar, but just different enough to what I did at Project for the Innocent. So I'm actually really excited about this opportunity. I wanted to ask when applications start and when would, or how we would go about applying to the clinic.
That's a good question. I don't know when applications start, but it's through Simplicity. And my guess is that students will get emails about when applications on Simplicity are open. It's a real simple application. And I just asked for the application to be completed and a resume. The Project for the Innocents was that with here, the Loyola Project for the Innocents? Okay, so what they do is they work on cases where the client has expressed some sort of innocence about usually a murder conviction. And what we do is we work with somebody who already has the conviction and we try to expunge it. When I was talking about the background checks, I forgot to mention that sometimes our students, our clients want to work for a school, a hospital, convalescent home, the airport. Those background checks usually involve fingerprinting. And so the criminal record will show up, but the expungement does help. And that's where the professional licensing comes into play, because sometimes somebody wants, perhaps they want to work delivering services as an in-home health care worker. And especially with COVID, there seems to be more of a demand for people to help their family members who may qualify for in-home health services. And a minor conviction can be a barrier to that. And the Attorney General usually deals with licensing with a lot of the agencies, and it's much easier for a client to have an attorney or a law student to help them through that process. We don't get those very often, but that's one service that we do provide. But in regard to your initial question, it'll be on Simplicity. And so my guess is maybe next month.
I think in the email, it mentions some kind of time frame for when clinic applications open. So I'll just kind of keep an eye out around that time.
Okay. All right. Teresa, do you have any questions? Are you still there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. What
Yes.
year are you?
I'm an LLM student.
Okay.
Yeah, I just came to campus this year. I'm an international student from Ghana.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've had LLM and LLS students in the past.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, because you kind of, work on your own with your clients and your cases. And then we have the classroom to learn about the different aspects of collateral consequences.
Oh, okay.
So it's a lot of criminal law.
Yes.
Do you have a specialty in your with your degree?
Okay. With my LLM, I'm specializing in criminal justice.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is one of those classes that is heavy on criminal justice.
Yes, please. I realized when you were talking.
Yes. Yeah. I'm formerly a public defender in Los Angeles County, and I was a public defender for more than 19 years, and I have been doing post-conviction relief for the past 13. So I've been doing this for a while. And one other thing, I always like to mention that we provide a holistic service for our clients. One of the students was discussing a client's fee waiver with me. And one of the questions on the fee waiver is whether the person has debts. And the client had a lot of income tax debt, federal and state. And so we'll refer him to a clinic that deals with tax debt. One client I had a child support issue, and he was incarcerated for a long time. And the general rule is if somebody has a government debt, they don't have to pay a government debt. So when somebody's in prison, child support should stop, but for the interest. So the interest still accrues. And so I referred him to another clinic that does child support. I did the initial work, looked at his dockets, saw that he was incarcerated both in state court and federal court, and then made the appropriate referral because he needs to be referred to a clinic so that they can prepare a request for an order for a judge to determine how much he owes, because the child support agency was did not take into consideration the fact that he was in state court custody for about 4 years. So if no more questions, we will end this ELF, because I believe there might be another ELF meeting. There's, I think, during the noon hour, there's one at 12 and then some at 12:30. So I hope both of you will submit an application through Simplicity.
I definitely will.
Okay. All right.
I will.
Okay. And you can always email me with questions when it comes time to apply.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Have a great day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care. Bye.